Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the New Horizon and looked out at the stars. They had been traveling for 3 weeks now. The ship moved through space faster than anything humans had ever built before. But even with their best technology, the journey to meet the aliens took a long time. Jake was nervous. He had been a ship captain for 15 years, but he had never done anything like this before. No human had ever done anything like this before. They were going to meet aliens. Real aliens from other worlds. The door to the bridge opened. Ambassador Lisa Carter walked in. She was a smart woman who had worked for the government for many years. She knew how to talk to important people and make deals. But she had never talked to aliens either. "How much longer until we get there?" Lisa asked. "About 6 hours," Jake replied. "The scanners show a huge space station ahead. It's bigger than anything we've ever seen." Lisa nodded. She felt scared and excited at the same time. Earth needed help. The planet was running out of clean water and good soil to grow food. Too many people lived there now. The air in the big cities was hard to breathe. If the aliens would help them, humanity could survive and grow. "Are you ready for this?" Jake asked her. "I have to be," Lisa said. "The whole world is counting on us." Colonel Rick Hayes came onto the bridge next. He was a soldier who had fought in many wars. He was strong and smart about fighting. But he was not happy about this trip. Rick did not trust the aliens. Something felt wrong to him. "The weapons are secure," Rick told them. "But I still don't like going in there with just a few small guns." "The aliens asked us to come with no weapons," Lisa reminded him. "We want to show them we come in peace." "That's what worries me," Rick said. "What if they don't come in peace?" Dr. Amy Foster was the last person to join them on the bridge. She studied alien life forms. She had spent years learning about the strange creatures that lived on other worlds. She was more excited than scared. "This is amazing," Amy said as she looked at her computer screen. "I'm reading life signs from hundreds of different species on that station. Maybe thousands. We're about to meet beings we never dreamed could exist." The space station grew larger as they got closer. It was made of metal that shined like silver. The station was so big that it looked like a small moon. Lights blinked all over its surface. Ships from many worlds were docked there. Some ships looked like Earth ships. Others looked very strange. "New Horizon, this is Kepler Station Control," a voice said over the radio. The voice sounded weird. It was too high and had strange sounds in it. "We welcome the humans to our station. Please follow the guide ship to Docking Bay 7. A small ship appeared next to them. It was shaped like a triangle and glowed with blue light. Jake followed it toward the big station. As they got closer, he could see how truly massive it was. The docking bay alone was bigger than the biggest cities on Earth. "Look at that," Amy whispered. "It must have taken hundreds of years to build something like this. Or they have technology we can't even understand," Rick said. He was watching everything very carefully. The New Horizon landed softly in the docking bay. Through the windows they could see other ships. Some were long and thin like needles. Others were round like balls. One ship looked like it was made of glass and light. "Remember the plan?" Lisa said to her team. "We are here to join their council. We offer friendship and trade. We show them the best of humanity." Jake turned off the ship's engines. They had arrived. In a few minutes they would meet the aliens face to face. This was the most important day in human history. "I still have a bad feeling about this," Rick said quietly. "We all do," Lisa replied. "But this is humanity's chance to join something bigger than just Earth. We need their help." The airlock opened. A creature walked into their ship. It stood on 2 legs like a human, but it was much taller. Its skin was blue and seemed to glow softly. It had 4 arms instead of 2. Its head was bigger than a human head, and it had large black eyes. "I am Protocol Officer Zethkar," the alien said. Its voice was musical and strange. "I welcome the humans to Kepler Station. Please follow me to the meeting chambers." Lisa, Rick, Amy, and Jake looked at each other. This was it. They were really doing this. They followed the alien out of their ship and into the station. The hallways were huge. The ceiling was so high that Lisa could not see the top. The walls were covered with pictures and symbols from many worlds. Other aliens walked past them. Some looked almost human. Others looked like nothing they had ever seen before. One alien looked like a walking tree with eyes. Another looked like a ball of light floating in the air. A third alien had 6 legs and fur like a cat, but it was as big as a horse. "How many different species are here?" Amy asked Zethkar. "Over 3,000 species belong to the Galactic Council," the alien replied. "You will meet many of them today." They walked for what felt like hours through the huge station. Finally, they came to a massive door. It was as tall as a building and covered with gold and jewels. "Beyond this door is the Grand Assembly Hall," Zethkar explained. "This is where the Council makes decisions that affect the entire galaxy. Today, they will decide about humanity." The door began to open slowly. Light poured out from inside. The humans could hear sounds like thousands of voices talking at once. "Are you ready?" Zethkar asked. Lisa took a deep breath. The future of humanity was about to begin. The humans walked through the giant door and stopped. They could not believe what they saw. The room was so huge that they could not see the other side. The ceiling was so high that clouds floated near the top. Thousands and thousands of aliens sat in seats that went up like a mountain. Lisa had never seen so many different kinds of creatures in one place. Some aliens were tiny like mice. Others were huge like elephants. Some had wings. Some had too many eyes to count. Some looked like they were made of rocks or metal or light. "This way," Zethkar said. He led them down a long path toward the center of the room. All the aliens turned to look at them. Lisa felt like a bug under a microscope. She tried to walk tall and proud, but her legs felt weak. Rick looked around at all the aliens. His soldier training kicked in. He counted exits and looked for danger. Something felt wrong, but he could not figure out what it was. Amy was amazed. She wanted to study every alien she saw. This was better than all her dreams put together. She saw creatures that should not be able to exist, but there they were. Jake stayed close to his team. As a ship captain, he was used to being in charge. But here he felt very small and unimportant. At the center of the huge room was a platform. On the platform sat the most important aliens in the council. The biggest chair belonged to a creature that looked very old. Its skin was gray and wrinkled. It had 3 eyes and a mouthful of sharp teeth. "I am High Chancellor Vorthak," the creature said. Its voice was deep and scary. "I have led this council for 500 years. Today we welcome a new species to our family." The other aliens made sounds of agreement. Some clapped with their hands or claws or tentacles. Others made musical sounds, or clicks. "Humans of Earth," Vorthak continued, "you have traveled far to be here. We have watched your world for many years. We know about your wars and your problems. We know that your planet is dying." Lisa stepped forward. This was why she was here. She had practiced her speech many times. "Great Chancellor Vorthak and members of the Galactic Council," she began. "Humanity is honored to be invited here today. We come seeking friendship and peace. We want to learn from your wisdom and share what we know." She pulled out a small device and pressed a button. Pictures appeared in the air above them. The pictures showed Earth's cities, its art, and its people. "We bring gifts from our world," Lisa continued. "Music from our greatest composers, art from our most talented painters, and knowledge from our brightest scientists." The aliens watched the pictures with interest. Some seemed impressed. Others looked bored. "We know that Earth has problems," Lisa said. "Our air and water are not clean. We have too many people and not enough food. We fight wars with each other, but we want to change. We want to be better. We hope that joining your council will help us grow and improve." When Lisa finished speaking, the aliens made polite sounds, but something in their voices made Rick nervous. They sounded like adults listening to a child's silly story. High Chancellor Vorthak stood up from his big chair. He was even bigger than he looked sitting down. His 3 eyes looked down at the humans like they were insects. "Your speech is very nice," Vorthak said, "but there are things you do not understand. The galaxy is a dangerous place. Young species like yours need protection. We understand that, Lisa replied. That's why we want to join your council. No, Vorthak said, shaking his huge head. You do not understand. You cannot simply join our council as equals. You must first prove that you are ready. Amy felt her stomach drop. This was not what they expected. What do you mean? Lisa asked. Your species is very young, Vorthak explained. You have only just learned to travel between stars. You still fight wars with each other. You are destroying your own planet. You need guidance. Other aliens nodded their heads in agreement. Many of them had the same look on their faces. It was the look adults had when they were about to tell children what to do. We offer you protection, Vorthak continued. We will take care of you, we will solve your problems, we will give you food and clean water, we will stop your wars. That sounds wonderful, Lisa said, but she was starting to feel worried. Of course, protection comes with rules, Vorthak said. His 3 eyes seemed to glow brighter. First, you must give up all your weapons, war machines, fighter ships, nuclear bombs, everything that can be used to hurt others. Rick's hand moved toward his gun without thinking. This was getting bad fast. Second, Vorthak continued, you must limit how many children you have. 2, many humans cause problems. We will decide how many new humans can be born each year. Amy's face went white. They were talking about controlling human reproduction like they were farm animals. Third, Earth's resources will be managed by the Council. We know better than you how to use them without waste. Lisa felt sick. These were not the terms of friendship. These were the terms of slavery. Finally, Vorthak said with what might have been a smile, humans will serve the galaxy in the ways they are best suited for. You are strong and can work in dangerous places. You heal quickly when hurt. You can survive in places that would kill other species. Jake realized what was happening. The aliens did not want humans as friends. They wanted humans as workers. Tough workers who could do jobs that were too dangerous for other species. I think we need some time to discuss these terms, Lisa said carefully. There is nothing to discuss, Vorthak replied. These terms are not a choice, they are requirements. Your species will accept protection, or your species will not survive. The huge room became very quiet. All the aliens were watching the humans now. Some looked sad, others looked mean, a few looked hungry. Rick looked around and realized something terrible. The exits were blocked. Security robots had moved into position while Vorthak was talking. They were trapped. You cannot leave until you agree, Vorthak said. And if you do not agree, ships are already moving toward your Earth. They will make sure you understand why protection is necessary. Lisa felt her heart stop. They had walked into a trap. Humanity had not been invited to join a council of friends. They had been summoned to surrender. Lisa looked around the giant room with new eyes. Now she understood what she was really seeing. The thousands of aliens sitting in the seats were not all equal members of a council. Many of them wore the same kind of simple clothes. They sat in the cheap seats far from the center. These were the protected species. These were the slaves. Only a few aliens sat in the good seats near High Chancellor Vorthak. These aliens wore fancy clothes and jewelry. Their seats were made of gold and precious stones. These were the real council members. These were the masters. How many species have you protected? Lisa asked. Her voice was steady, but inside she was angry. Over 800 species currently enjoy our protection, Vorthak replied. He sounded proud of this number. Some have been with us for thousands of years. They are very happy. Lisa looked at some of the protected species in the far seats. They did not look happy. They looked tired and scared. Some had scars on their bodies. Others were too thin, like they did not get enough food. What happened to the species who refused protection? Rick asked. He already knew the answer would be bad. There have been very few such species, Vorthak said. Most beings are smart enough to accept help when it is offered. Those who were too proud to accept protection are no longer with us. The meaning was clear. Species who said no were destroyed. Amy was studying the aliens around them with her scientist brain. She noticed something important. The protected species all looked strong and tough. They had thick skin or hard shells or powerful muscles. The ruling species looked soft and weak. You use the protected species as workers, Amy said. The dangerous jobs, the hard jobs, the jobs that might kill someone. You make them do those jobs. We give them purpose, Vorthak replied. Every species serves according to their abilities. It is efficient. It's slavery, Lisa said. The word hung in the air like a bomb. Many of the protected species looked up in surprise. No one had said that word out loud in this room for a very long time. Slavery is an ugly word, Vorthak said. His three eyes narrowed. We prefer to call it guided cooperation. These species receive food, shelter, and medical care. In return, they contribute their skills to the greater good of the galaxy. And if they refuse to cooperate? Rick asked. Then they receive guidance until they understand their place, Vorthak replied. Jake saw some of the protected species touch scars on their bodies. He realized that guidance meant punishment, probably very painful punishment. We have studied your species carefully, Vorthak continued. Humans are perfect for protection. You are strong and heal quickly. You can survive in space longer than most species. You can work in high radiation areas that would kill others. You even seem to enjoy fighting, which makes you useful for dangerous missions. You want us to be your soldiers, Lisa said. Among other things, yes, some humans will be soldiers. Others will be miners in dangerous asteroid fields. Others will be workers in toxic factories. Each human will serve where they are most useful. Amy realized something that made her blood run cold. The aliens had not just watched Earth from far away. They had studied humans very carefully. They knew exactly how to use humans as tools. What about our families? Amy asked. Our children? Children will be raised in proper facilities, Vorthak explained. They will be trained for their future roles from a young age. It is much more efficient than your current chaotic system. Lisa thought about her own daughter back on Earth. The idea of aliens taking her away and training her to be a slave made her sick with rage. Some of your people will be allowed to have leadership roles, Vorthak added, as if this made everything better. Humans who prove themselves loyal to the Council will be permitted to help manage other humans. You want us to become slave masters of our own species, Rick said. We want you to help your species understand their new role, Vorthak replied. It makes the transition easier for everyone. Lisa looked around the room again. She could see the truth now. Some of the protected species were wearing slightly better clothes and sitting in slightly better seats. These were the collaborators. These were the members of their own species who had chosen to help the masters keep their people in chains. How long does protection last? Lisa asked. Forever, Vorthak said. Once a species accepts protection, they remain protected always. Their children and their children's children will all receive the same care. You mean they can never be free? Again, Amy said. Freedom is a dangerous illusion, Vorthak replied. Freedom leads to war and waste and suffering. Protection leads to peace and order and prosperity. Rick looked at the protected species again. They did not look prosperous. They looked broken. We need time to think about this, Lisa said. She was trying to buy time to figure out how to escape. There is nothing to think about, Vorthak said. The decision has already been made. Your species has been classified as primitive Tier 3. Protection is mandatory for all primitive Tier 3 species. What if we refuse? Lisa asked. You cannot refuse, Vorthak said. Look around you. For the first time, Lisa really looked at their situation. The security robots were everywhere now. They were surrounded by weapons that could kill them instantly. The exits were blocked. Their ship was probably already under alien control. Even if you somehow escape this station, Vorthak continued, our ships are already moving toward Earth. Your planet will be secured within days. Your people will receive protection whether you agree to it or not. Jake felt helpless. They had walked into this trap so easily. The aliens had been planning this for years. maybe decades. Humanity never had a real choice. Don't look so sad, Vorthak said. Many species felt the same way at first, but after a few generations they realized that protection is the best thing that ever happened to them. They become grateful. Lisa looked at an alien in the cheap seats. It was a creature that looked almost human, but with gray skin and large eyes. The alien was staring at her with an expression of deep sadness. Lisa realized that this creature's species had once stood where she was standing now. They had once been free, but something else was in that alien's eyes, something that gave Lisa a tiny bit of hope. The alien was not just sad, the alien was angry. Even after generations of protection, some of them still remembered what freedom felt like, and, if they remembered, maybe they could be reminded. Maybe they could be inspired to want it back. Lisa made a decision that would change everything. Lisa stood up slowly. The entire giant room became quiet. Thousands of aliens watched her every move. She looked directly at High Chancellor Vorthak, with his 3 glowing eyes and sharp teeth. "Thank you for explaining your position so clearly," Lisa said. Her voice was calm but loud enough for everyone to hear. "Now let me explain humanity's position." Vorthak leaned back in his golden chair. He looked amused, like a cat watching a mouse try to act brave. "We appreciate your offer of protection," Lisa continued, "but humanity respectfully declines." The room erupted in shocked sounds. Some aliens made clicking noises, others whistled or screeched. Many of the protected species looked at Lisa like she had lost her mind. No one ever said no to the Galactic Council. "You cannot decline," Vorthak said. His amusement was turning into anger. "You do not have the power to refuse our protection." "That remains to be seen," Lisa replied. Rick and Amy stood up beside her. Jake joined them a moment later. The 4 humans stood together in the center of the huge room, surrounded by thousands of aliens and dozens of security robots. "You are making a mistake," Vorthak said. His voice was getting louder and scarier. "Your species is weak. Your technology is primitive. You cannot fight the entire galaxy." "You're right about one thing," Lisa said. "We are just one small species on one small planet. But you made a big mistake when you studied us." "What mistake?" Vorthak demanded. "You looked at our cities and our ships and our computers," Lisa explained. "You counted our weapons and measured our strength, but you never really looked at our history." Amy stepped forward. "Humans have been at war for thousands of years," she said. "Not just with aliens or outside enemies, we fight each other. We've been fighting each other since we learned to make tools." "That proves you need our guidance," Vorthak said. "No," Rick said. "That proves we know how to fight." The security robots started moving closer. Their weapons began charging up with dangerous energy. "You think war is about having the biggest ships or the most advanced weapons," Lisa continued. "But humans learned something different. We learned that war is about will. It's about being willing to die rather than give up your freedom." "Pretty words will not stop our fleets," Vorthak said. "Maybe not," Lisa agreed. "But you made another mistake. You assumed we came here unarmed just because we wanted to show we were peaceful." Rick reached into his diplomatic case. The aliens had scanned it many times. Their machines had found nothing dangerous inside. But now Rick pulled out what looked like a simple pen. He pressed a button on the side. The pen transformed. Metal pieces unfolded and clicked together. In seconds, Rick was holding a weapon that looked like nothing the aliens had ever seen. It was small and simple, but it radiated danger. Amy and Jake reached into their own cases. They pulled out similar devices. The humans now held weapons that the most advanced scanners in the galaxy had missed. "Impossible," Vorthak breathed. "Our scanners detected no weapons. Your scanners look for energy signatures and metal compositions that match known weapon designs," Amy explained. "But our weapons are made from materials that don't exist in your databases. They're built using principles your science doesn't understand yet." The security robots tried to analyze the human weapons. Their computers crashed trying to figure out what they were looking at. "You want to know what makes humans special?" Lisa asked. "It's not that we're stronger or tougher than other species. It's that we never stop fighting. Even when we lose, we keep fighting. Even when it seems hopeless, we keep fighting. 4 weapons cannot defeat thousands of guards, Vorthak said, but his voice sounded less confident now. You're right again, Rick said. 4 weapons can't defeat thousands of guards, but these aren't just weapons. He pressed another button on his device. Suddenly, every human weapon in the room began beeping. The sound was soft but clear. What is that sound? Vorthak demanded. That's the sound of a dead man's switch, Jake explained. If any of us dies, if any of us is hurt, if any of us even feels too scared, these weapons will activate. Activate how? Vorthak asked, but his 3 eyes were wide with fear now. Each weapon contains enough concentrated antimatter to destroy this entire station, Amy said calmly, and everyone on it. The room fell completely silent. Even the background hum of the station's machines seemed to stop. You're bluffing, Vorthak said, but he didn't sound like he believed it. Are we? Lisa asked. You studied our history. You know we've used nuclear weapons against our own species. You know we've burned our own cities rather than let enemies take them. Do you really think we won't destroy the station to prevent humanity from becoming slaves? Many of the aliens were starting to move away from the humans. Even the security robots seemed uncertain about what to do. You would kill thousands of innocent beings, Vorthak said. Would we? Lisa looked around at the protected species. Or would we be freeing them? Some of the protected species began to whisper among themselves. The idea of freedom was spreading through the cheap seats like fire. This is madness, Vorthak said. This is humanity, Lisa replied. We'd rather die, free than live as slaves, and we'll take our captors with us if we have to. You cannot leave this station, Vorthak said desperately. Our ships will stop you. Your ships will try, Rick corrected, but they'll have to be very careful. One wrong move and this station becomes a cloud of dust, along with all the important council members on it. Lisa began walking toward the exit. The other humans walked with her, their weapons held ready. The security robots moved aside. No one wanted to risk setting off the antimatter. This isn't over, Vorthak called after them. Lisa stopped and turned around one last time. You're absolutely right, she said. This is just the beginning. You've spent thousands of years convincing species that resistance is hopeless. But now they've seen 4 humans walk into the heart of your empire and walk back out again. They've seen that your power can be challenged. She looked directly at the protected species in their cheap seats. Remember this day, she told them. Remember that someone said no. The humans continued walking toward the exit. Behind them, the council chamber erupted into chaos as centuries of carefully maintained order began to crumble. The humans walked through the huge corridors of the space station. Other aliens pressed themselves against the walls as they passed. Word was spreading fast about what had happened in the council chamber. Some aliens looked scared. Others looked amazed. A few looked hopeful for the first time in years. Do we really have antimatter bombs? Jake whispered to Rick as they walked. Of course not, Rick whispered back. But they don't know that. Then what are these weapons really? Amy asked quietly. Advanced plasma rifles, Rick replied. They can kill maybe 20 aliens before the power runs out. After that, we're dead. Lisa smiled grimly. Humans had always been good at bluffing. Sometimes a good bluff was worth more than real weapons. They reached their ship without anyone trying to stop them. The docking bay was full of alien security forces, but they all stayed far away. No one wanted to be near the humans when the antimatter supposedly went off. New Horizon. Prepare for immediate departure, Jake said into his communicator as soon as they were back on their ship. Captain, the station has us locked in with a tractor beam, his pilot replied. We can't move. Jake looked out the window. Sure enough, energy beams were holding their ship in place. But the alien ships that were creating the beams were keeping their distance. Station control, Lisa said over the radio. Release our ship immediately or we will detonate our weapons. Human ship, came the reply. You cannot leave. Lower your weapons and surrender. You have 10 seconds, Lisa said calmly. She started counting down out loud. 10, 9, 8. The energy beams holding their ship flickered. 7, 6, 5. More alien ships moved away from the new horizon. 4, 3. Wait, came the desperate voice of Vorthak over the radio. Release the human ship. The tractor, beams disappeared. The new horizon was free to go. Wise choice, Lisa said. Then she opened a channel to broadcast to the entire station. This is Ambassador Lisa Carter of Earth. I have a message for every species listening. Thousands of aliens throughout the station stopped what they were doing to listen. For too long, you have been told that freedom is impossible, Lisa said. You have been told that you need protection from those who want to control you. You have been told that resistance is hopeless. The New Horizons engines started up. Jake began steering the ship away from the station. But today you saw something different, Lisa continued. You saw 4 humans walk into the most powerful council in the galaxy and say no. You saw us leave with our freedom intact. They were moving faster now, heading toward the edge of the system where they could jump to faster than light speed. We are just one species from one small world, Lisa said. If we can stand up to this council, so can you. If we can say no, so can you. Human ship. Vorthak's angry voice cut in. You will not escape. Our fleets are already moving to your world. Let them come, Rick said, taking over the broadcast. Earth is not defenseless. We've been preparing for war our entire history. Your ships will find humans ready to fight. You cannot defeat the combined fleets of the galaxy, Vorthak replied. Maybe not, Amy said. But we'll make it cost you more than you ever imagined. And while your ships are busy with Earth, what do you think will happen to your control over the other species? Through the ship's windows, they could see the space station getting smaller behind them. But they could also see something else. Ships were leaving the station. Not alien council ships. Ships belonging to the protected species. Look at that, Jake said with wonder in his voice. Dozens of ships were departing the station. Some were small personal craft. Others were larger transport ships. The protected species were leaving. Some were probably going home to their worlds for the first time in generations. Others were probably going to spread the word that rebellion was possible. You have started something that cannot be stopped, Vorthak said over the radio. His voice was full of rage and fear. We hope so, Lisa replied. For thousands of years your council has grown fat and lazy by feeding off the work of enslaved species. You forgot that some beings would rather die than live in chains. They reached the edge of the system. The New Horizons faster-than-light drive was ready to activate. This is our final message to the Galactic Council, Lisa said. Earth withdraws from all negotiations. Any council ships that approach our system will be considered hostile and will be met with force. We know where you live, and we know how to fight. Remember that. And to all the species listening, Amy added, remember what you saw today. Remember that freedom is possible. Remember that you have a choice. Jake activated the faster-than-light drive. The stars stretched into lines of light as the New Horizon jumped toward Earth. Behind them, the Galactic Council space station was in chaos. Hundreds of protected species were demanding to know why they had never been told they could refuse protection. Some were already packing their belongings to leave. Others were asking why they had to give up their weapons if protection was really for their own good. High Chancellor Vorthak sat in his golden chair and realized that his perfect system was falling apart. For 3,000 years, the Council had maintained order by convincing species that resistance was impossible. But 4 humans had walked into his chamber and proved that it was not only possible, but simple. The word was spreading to every corner of the galaxy. On distant worlds, protected species were asking dangerous questions. If humans could say no, why couldn't they? If humans were willing to fight, maybe they should be willing to fight too. The age of easy conquest was over. The Galactic Council would have to learn a new way of dealing with other species, or they would have to face the consequences of trying to enslave beings who had learned that freedom was worth fighting for. On the New Horizon, speeding home toward Earth, Lisa looked out at the stars and smiled. Humanity had just delivered the most important message in galactic history. The message was simple: no. And that simple word was about to change everything.